Welcome back, Dronsfield Bronze, DB Swallow hand mower, full restoration, final stages. Now, hopefully everybody had a lovely Christmas and Santa was good to you. And we're heading towards the new year. So anyway, let's crack on with this video and try and get this mower a little bit more near finished. Now, the last video was we reassembled the roller, I think it was. Now, there is a saying, something like, do as I say, not as I do. Now, in the case of the roller, I said just be careful not to put the axle round the wrong way. Now, looking over it in the week, I realised I've done just that. I've put the axle round the wrong way. We'll go through it very quickly, but what is a little bit odd, in my defence, is, mind you, having said that, I should have looked at the sprocket, but I based it on the fact that the drive was the nut end of the axle. Now on this machine it's a little bit unusual, it's the opposite way round, and normally you've got a nut or something holding the gear or the sprocket on. This doesn't, it has a pin. The axle's almost round the other way round, so if I put it in as it isn't going to drive, that's all there is to it. So I'm going to zoom you in and then you can have a look. We're going to turn the axle round the correct way, which isn't a big job, and then we'll be hopefully ready to put this thing back together, or as good as. Let me get my glasses, let me get you zoomed in and settled in, and then we'll have a look. Right, now, so let's get down on the job. So I think we can see the roller. That's good. Excellent. Excellent. So what we've got on the roller here, we've got those two nuts. Like I say, I should have looked a bit more carefully, and maybe I should have remembered, as I said. But those go the other side, and then the sprocket side, if we have a look at it, this sprocket, it's not screwed on. As you can see, it's got a little pin, and obviously hole in the axle. So as I say, if I put this in as it is, it's not going to drive. That's all there is to it. Because as I say, if we sort of push it forward, then it's just going to freewheel, not engage. So as I say, there we are. So if I hold the axle, we push it forward. As I say, I based it on the other way around, so it's not a problem. We just got to take it apart and then swap the axle round. So we'll get our pinch bolts out again. I think I'm going to put some gloves on. Slide that roller out. There we go. So that one that's got to go that side. And we've got to pull that other pinch collar, undo that. Let's get these nuts off there. Okay, roller in pieces. So I'll get the side frame and then we'll just make sure I'm going to get it right second time. So that's the gear case, and and the axle has got to go in like so. Let's put this gear case down somewhere safe. And again with our rollers, we've got them handed, the right and the left roller. So excuse me if I'm snivelling. I've had a bit of a cold over Christmas, and it's one of them colds that sounds worse than what it is. Anyway, I'm well enough to do this, which is good. So that's good. So if we're very careful, we'll get that back in. Now, very nice simple pull system in. There we are. And then we'll have the other roller. So I think we'll just wipe a bit of that copper slip so that that pinch collar has an effect and doesn't slip. Let's grease copper slip off that. Okay, good. Knit that one up, then we'll go into the other side. Knit that one up. Yep. See, it's got a little bit of. Feels just about right, so we'll nip it up a bit more and then we'll see if it's going to work. Sorry. Good. Right, so just to prove a point, we'll pop our gear on there before we go any further. Just, hopefully you can see that. Drop this pin in there just loosely. So now we engage that. So if I push the rollers forward, it should, yeah, I can't stop the gear. And then if I pull it backwards, it freewheels. Lovely sounding roller. Right, now let's get on with the next bit. So I think we'll just pop the roller over there for now. So I think it's going to be, let's have a look. We'll go with the gear side first, I think. I think the first thing to put in is this axle axle that carries the blade carrier, which is this one, and it's got the little eccentric adjuster which goes on the other side. So let's put a little bit of copper slip on the threads, and this is threaded into the side frame. The beauty with this mower, unlike most, as we know, it's got this quick release cylinder, so we really don't need to worry about the cylinder right the way till the end. So we can assemble it and hopefully not have to worry about that right till the end. So let's just let's put a couple of nuts on that, tighten that. So it's probably going to be the shafts that we've got to worry about, and the roller. And then once we've got that in, then right at the end we can get the cutting cylinder in. This was the shaft, if you remember, that was seized onto the blade carrier. So we will put some copper slip on the pivot points, and obviously I haven't purposely painted it because it might have made it awkward to get it on, I don't know, but we'll soon see. So let's get some copper slip on those. Be generous. Right, so see what a snug fit it is. I think if I'd have painted that, I'd have struggled getting this on there, you know. Which side that it goes. So what we'll do, we've got our adjuster bar. I'm going to get that and just lay it across the top, and then we'll get an idea which way that's got to go, because that goes like that, and like that. Let's have a look. This obviously can go forward or at the back of it, and I can't remember which way it goes, but it's one or the other. Let's just try it on the other side. Try it like that. See whether that makes any sense. No, definitely not. So I had it right first time. Like so. Okay, right, so that's that. What else? So, I sort of cleaned everything up, all the threads and everything, hopefully to make this thing go back together as easily as possible. And as far as I can see, these tie bars, which one at the front, one at the back, I think they are the same. So let's put a little bit of copper slip on one of those. Let's do one at a time. What we'll do, we'll put everything together loosely, as you normally do, and then if, right at the end, when we're sure everything is good, we'll tighten things up. Right, so I think it's roller time. So look. Yeah, I think we can leave that till nearly last. So let's get all the important bits on. So hopefully we can get the roller in. It's dropped in nicely. So other side case. Now we've got, let's just think, that, don't think we've missed anything at the moment. Now, let's have a look. I'm thinking all the time, I see, yeah. So this little eccentric adjuster, obviously looking at it, it can only go in one way, which goes in there, and we need to put that in now. So again, I think a generous portion of copper slip on that will make the adjusting much easier. And hopefully for the next person that strips it down. So I think we are nearly ready to put that on. So take that off again for whatever reason. I think I've got a burr there. It's just a tight fit. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's just a tight fit. What I didn't do is the bearings in the roller, I've assumed they are both the same bearing. I didn't measure them. Certainly the outer diameter is, but there is always a chance, I suppose, they could be different, but I hope not. What do we want? We want something just to tap that with. Really want to. think I need to swizzle it round, and that little eccentric adjuster, oh yeah, that's good. That looks like that is going in, or is in. Good. Let's give that a little bit more of a tap. Fits nicely, good. So, let's get some nuts on. Right, let's get it over and just see if everything looks okay so far. Good, okay. Right. So I think it would probably pay to, as I say, these bearings on the roller are these taper type bearings, and I think probably the way to do it is to, well, there's probably only one way. We put the sprocket on, because if you have a look, there's a little cone shaped, which obviously goes into the bearing. So I think it's probably wise to put this on first, and then we'll put the other little cone shaped spacer the other side, and then hopefully we can set our roller end float and get that right. So let's see if we can get that in. Lined up. That's the pin. It's very slightly tapered. Doesn't go in one way easy. Try the other. So let's turn it. That's better. Right, so let's give that. So I think what we'll do, just before we go any further, let's have a look whether this intermediate gear, whether it goes this way, or now then, here we go. So the intermediate gear should have gone on first. There's a nice little gap there, so I should have put that on first. Right, let's get that pin out again. A punch. Do, hopefully to get it back in easily, we'll just try and remember where that went. Put the pin back in the same way. So let's put that like that, that like that, and we'll put a bit of grease on that, and then put our intermediate gear on. You can probably see there's a little oil hole on that. I did clear that on the gear. Don't know if you can see it. It's quite important that's cleared. Once it's together, it'll be difficult to lubricate the shaft. So there it is there. Right, let's have another go. I mean, those gears are handsome, aren't they? You'd have to do an awful lot of work to wear those out, I think, wouldn't you? There we are. Right, okay, so I think at that point, take that in a bit. And then it's off to the other side, so maybe now is a good time to do the tie bars up. Oh, I know. Oh. So let's do those up. Well, it's on a nice flat surface as well. Good to do it. Moves. Do the rear. Good. Right, let's get it round and then get that there sorted out. So what we've got our little tapered collar that goes into the bearing, and then obviously once the nuts are tightened up, you can set your bearings. So let's just give that a little bit of a tap, get it snug. That way. So we've got our two nuts. So still be able to turn the roller quite easily. Just looking for a little bit of end float. I think I can feel a bit. Probably what I'll do is once I want to give it a try on the grass at some point. And once we've given it a grass test, then I might come back and just recheck some of the adjustments on it, and this might be one. We might have to readjust it a bit, but we'll see. Not quite so easy, but probably don't need to nip it up too tight anyway. We've got a nice little cover to go over there. Right, so this is our adjuster. And I would say that's the way it goes. I've obviously cleaned the adjusters up, and then there's some copper slip on these because it is important that they adjust nicely. So that's quite easy. So both of the little adjusters, obviously it goes, and the metal tab goes between the two of them. So we can probably put that on now. And I've got, I think those are the two there. Didn't have any washers there, so I think probably not going to put any back. Oh look, you can see I've missed a bit of paint. To go over that. Right, so well, let's just see if the adjuster works, because obviously if it's working, when we twist that one way, and then if we twist it the other, setting one against the other, it should alter our... Yes, we can see it's moving nicely. So that's working nicely. Right, so I'll probably leave that little cover off just for now, and the handles, because it's just going to make things a lot easier. I did, between videos, I don't know if you remember, but on my early Suffolk 14-inch punch, I turned up some front rollers, and they were just a little bit too short. It's niggling me, so I knocked up another set. But anyway, a little bit of recycling. The rollers just so happened to be a little bit longer than what I needed, and without having to turn a complete set up, I was able to just chop a little bit off the ends, and the axle size was right. So yeah, little effort, which was good. So what do we want now? We want the roller brackets. Get those. So we've got our roller brackets. So I think now we'll just oil that shaft up. Find an oil can. Let's have a look. Now, I like this little oil can, but you leave it standing for a little bit, it seems to get an airlock, and it's just a pain to get the oil back through, I think. Here's that way. I know if I fiddle it long enough, it'll come through. Let's get a little bit in here, I think. All I've done with the rollers is I've just put a little bit of linseed oil on it, which a couple of coats of that, and I think that's probably going to protect them. Anyway. Right, let's push it back a little bit. Hope you can see it all right. The roller brackets, I'm sure these aren't handed, so we can hopefully just put those on. Just put one on at a time. We may need to put some washers on, I'm not sure, we'll see. More copper slip. So these little bolts obviously only go in one way, these little coach bolts. So looking at it, they will go that way. Let's set the roller. That's all. Yeah, we'll see what that looks like. quite nice to put a few washers there just to take some of that end float out. Let's see what we've got. Try a couple this end, a couple that end. Well, I think we can put some in the middle as well. Quite often with rollers, they do tend to put washers in the middle, so we've got the room, let's do it. So we'll go between that one, hopefully you can see, so 2 on there, another one between the rollers, next roller, and then 2 there. Try that. Bit more copper slip. Let's just count the notches. We'll try and get it even. So what have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're about, yeah. So let's nip those up. Oh, that feels lovely. A little bit of end float, turns nicely. Good. Right, so this is the little adjuster that goes in the side frame here. This is what presses on the cylinder and sort of stops it moving and coming out. So again, we're going to put a little bit of copper slip. Once you set it, there's a screwdriver slot, and obviously you lock your lock nut up against the side. So we'll probably set it so it's not quite through yet. So I think we're ready to put the cutting cylinder in. Right, I'll show you. This is what, quite a neat thing. So this is what we've got. Let's have a look. These little covers that you obviously slide out the way, which exposes the gear. All being well, the cutting cylinder will drop in, and then I guess you close those back up, and then you set the machine up. So let's get you back over here. See if it's going to go in okay. Go a bit higher. There we are. Right. So, and yes, that obviously goes in the bottom. You've got the little face on there, which locates on the face there. So, let's see if this is an easy fit cutting cylinder. So all being well, got that in there. The gears hopefully should line up. And then that goes on its little there, which it seems to be. Right, so what we've got to do, we've got to tighten this up, I think. And there's a little centre mark on that little boss. There we are. Oh, good. That's good. Well, the gear feels okay, so hopefully my repaired gear is going to stand up. So I suppose at that point we can close these little doors up, or those. And the one on the bottom, and that I suppose keeps most of the dirt out. Let's close those up a bit more if we can. So, that's it. So they're closed up quite nicely, and hopefully that will keep the dirt out. Right, so I think we probably need to just do this little, there we are, let's turn all right. So at this point, so that feels okay, so we probably need to pinch our lock nut up. It's going to need a bigger screwdriver. That. Then we've got another nut to go on the side for the eccentric. It does seem like there really should be a washer there, and I think we'll put one on because it just doesn't feel right not putting one on. So we can find a suitable washer, we'll do just that. It's definitely too big because it's 3/8. I think we find a 3/8 washer. Something suitable. Yeah. Clean up. Got a feeling we probably need to not leave it loose, but not pinch that one up too tight, because we might have to adjust that if it's cutting heavy one side. We may have to adjust that. So let's see if we can get this down a bit. So let's see what it's looking like. Yes, we do. Right, now I'm going to get you zoomed in and you can see. So hopefully that adjuster will do the trick. So let's have a look. I'm going to get you zoomed in. So let's have a look at the bottom blade. So your my right hand side, you can probably see there's a gap there. And then if we go along to the left hand side of the mower. Difficult to get it on there. See, but it's as good as touching. So hopefully that little cam adjuster, by adjusting that, I can bring it away and even that up, and that's what that's for. Otherwise it's going to cut obviously one-sided and not the other. So let's see if we can get that adjuster to balance that blade up. So bring this one away. Going the wrong way. There we are. A bit more. Not looking bad. So to set the height of the on-cut, the contact between the cylinder and bottom blade, it is on these. And in the case of getting it closer, we want to loosen the back one and tighten the front. So you're sort of balancing one against the other. Quite a good little setup, really. Quite easy. Ooh, sounds a bit... Yeah, it's still a bit hard that side. So let's see if we can do something with that. Still a bit. Still a bit more. Whoops, a whisker more. Round two. Still a bit hard, so either I need a bit more or I've got a bit of a problem. Right, I think the only thing we can do now, go back a little bit. Right, let's get a little bit of paper. I think we will have a look and see which side is touching. Difficult to see. So I think it is actually that side that's tucked in, so maybe I've gone a little bit too far. Okay, right, let's have a go then. It is a balancing act. Obviously just getting it right is a very fine thing, but we have the adjustments. So it's still on that side, so we need to get this side in a bit closer. Obviously just gone a bit too far. Go a bit more. That's a bit different. Still a bit more. Okay. Just a bit too much, I think. Glad I left the handles off this. So it's a little bit dodgy on that side, but I don't want to make it noisy, so I think probably after we've used it a couple of times, I think that would be good. So let's just give it a quick roll backwards and forwards and see if it's... There we are. Good. So I think probably handles and the little gear shaft cover the other side, and then obviously the gear cover this side. So I think the video's gone on a bit too long, so I think we're probably, you don't need to see me put the handles on it. So I think we're probably going to knock that on the head, and I think probably between yep, good, right, well, there we go. Good. Good. Well, my battery's just gone on to low power mode, so I don't quite know how much footage I've lost. But anyway, yeah, it's as good as together. A few little things to finish off. I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably do those in the week. Get the handles on, as I said, the gear case cover, put a little bit of grease on the gears, and that end cover that goes on there, and whether I do some linseeding oil on the handle grips. I think I probably will do. So there's a little bit of finishing off to do, so I will do that hopefully between now and the next video. And obviously the box is a project on its own, which is going to involve a lot of work, but it'd be pretty nice to give it a try on some grass fairly soon. So anyway, we're getting towards the end of it, and it went together reasonably well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and no doubt by the time you see this it will be New Year, so I will wish you a very happy New Year. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.